Let's get this going. And we are live on YouTube right now for Night of Wrestling, February 15th, because Elimination Chamber is this Sunday. And as always, I'm Robbie D, your host, along with we got my two other hosts, Dylan.
Yo, yo.
We got Paul.
Hello, hello.
And returning, we got Ethan.
Hey.
So, like I said, it's Elimination Chamber this weekend, and we were planning on having 6 people, but lots of things going on, and people can't join.
We got eliminated on the pre-show.
Yeah, they got eliminated on the pre-show. That is fair. And we can't wait around, like Paul was saying. So we're gonna get started with the pre-show match between.
That said, if those 2 people want to join, they're more than welcome to at any given moment.
That is
any
true.
given moment.
Actually, please do. That will make this so much more fun.
It would be. Yeah, so pre-show match, Buddy Murphy defending his Cruiserweight Championship against Akira Tozawa. You know what? I'm going to throw it off to Ethan first.
Oh, boy. To be honest, I haven't really been following much of the Cruiserweights, although I should. I honestly think that Buddy Murphy's going to have one more defense, and then he'll drop the title.
Okay.
That's
So my prediction, is Buddy Murphy retains the Cruiserweight Championship.
you know what? I'm gonna say Tozawa, just because it'd be something different.
Right.
You know, it would be something different. Yeah, you'd like to think that after all Buddy Murphy has done, you would have that match. You would have until WrestleMania with the title, but I'm gonna say Tozawa.
Okay. Dylan?
I'm gonna have to go with Buddy Murphy. I don't see him dropping the belt until at least WrestleMania.
I think that I'm gonna go with Buddy Murphy as well, to be honest. I gotta agree with Dylan, and I gotta agree with the fact that Buddy Murphy, like Dylan said, could hold it till WrestleMania even. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna choose. Buddy Murphy. Alrighty, we got quite a bit to talk about on the main card itself. I don't even know where I want to start, to be honest.
We'll just go bottom to top. That's probably the best way to go.
So, Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin in a no DQ match. Paul, what do you think?
Why are they beating this dead horse? That's really the only thought I've got. Part of me really wants to say Strowman, but I don't even know where Strowman's headed after this. I think the win would do more for Corbin than it would for Strowman. So I'm gonna say Baron Corbin takes this one.
Ethan?
I'm gonna have to agree with Paul in the sense that this angle has been going on for far too long now, and they're kind of losing a sense of direction for it. It's not really a match I care for, but if I have to go with the way Corbin's been doing things lately, I have a feeling he's gonna find a dirty way to win in the no DQ match. And you know what? As much as I hate to say it, I'm going to agree with Paul. Corbin.
Okay, Dylan?
Well, first of all, remember that time that the McMahon said that we were the authority? That we can get new matches and that? Yeah, that clearly was somewhat of
You know what? You don't even want to get me started on that because I'll talk about fucking Charlotte in a heartbeat.
I'll talk about Eugene not being in the Rumble in a heartbeat. Listen, I tweeted to all of them.
I can rant all day about Charlotte being where she doesn't belong.
Oh God!
You don't even want to go down that road.
The conversation about Charlotte, I feel like that'll end up being talked about during our Fast Lane episode.
I don't even care about when it will be talked about. I want nothing to do with Charlotte in that match.
But okay, so it's no DQ. So it seems like it could be a huge advantage for Corbin because he can get like Drew McIntyre. But at the same time, Strowman, like he beat Corbin at TLC in what was a TLC match, yet he didn't do anything. Put his foot. Match? Yeah, his match with Corbin was scheduled to be a TLC match. And
it was too, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then they had.
He was also supposed to have a match with Brock after, so you know.
Yeah, that didn't end up happening either. But you know what? I'm just gonna say Strowman for a risk prediction, and I don't give a fuck what happens. Like I think it could go either way, to be honest.
You know what? I'm gonna sit on Dylan's side of the fence. I'm gonna go Braun Strowman as well. So we're gonna be on opposite sides for this one. All right, Bobby Lashley defending his Intercontinental Championship in a weird kind of stipulation match. It's a handicap match where Finn Balor, the opponent, could pin Lio Rush in this match and win the championship. It's Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush versus Finn Balor. So, like, I don't know. I like Finn's chances somewhat. I mean, despite him being on the odd side of the spectrum, if you want to call it, because he's 1 against 2, but I don't know. This one's a little tough for me. And I feel like risking this. Well, you know what? I'm not going to even say it's a risk prediction. I'm going to say Finn Balor. That's my choice for this match.
You know what? I agree that there's going to be a new Intercontinental Champion, and his name is Lio Rush. I'm gonna say Lio Rush in like a heat of the moment thing, pins Balor. He's awarded the title. That leads to Rush versus Lashley at WrestleMania, or maybe even Fastlane.
I didn't even think of that, but that's a good point.
You know what? I have to agree with that. Just thinking about how that could be laid out, Bobby Lashley doesn't even have to get pinned to lose the fucking title.
Yeah, it's a weird pseudo triple threat match.
I think they did this once a long time ago. And I think it was for one of the world titles.
Yeah, it wasn't Vince McMahon. Yeah, it was like the ECW title.
I remember. Okay, well, first of all.
No, it wasn't that. It was something else. I can't remember.
I think it was the WWE title.
Well, I remember, 2 instances. So, one, actually, Royal Rumble last year, we had a handicap match for the title. AJ Styles being the one guy defending against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. True. Which we never really, I don't know whether it was like either man could, whoever gets the pin gets the title, which I kind of assume that. But now I'm thinking like for this match, does the title go to Lashley if either Lio Rush or Bobby Lashley gets the pin on Balor?
I don't know.
They never really described that. That's what
they never discussed it. I think that comes down to like a referee's discretion kind of thing. I think that's what it would come down to. Let me adjust this light.
But, back to I think what Ethan was also thinking is they did a 6-man tag in 2009 that was for the WWE title.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I thought about that.
It was I think it was Triple H, Shane, and Vince against Legacy.
Yes.
And
Wasn't Vince replaced with Batista though?
In 2009.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Backlash 2009. Let me look it up.
Actually, he might have.
Actually, yeah, I think you're right.
And I know it was some weird stipulation on top of that, like if Triple H got...
Yeah. So here it is. It was the Legacy versus Batista, Shane, and Triple H. And if Triple H or any member of his team had gotten disqualified, counted out, pinned, or submitted, Orton would win the title.
Okay, yeah. See, that's where the... See, these weird stipulations. But no, back to this handicap shenanigans that's going on at Elimination Chamber. So Robbie says Balor.
Ethan and I think, went with Leo Rush. So.
Yes.
Oh, so it's up to me. Okay. So, like, yeah, like this handicap match, I'm thinking, like, this could have, like, been made for two ways. One is for Lashley to lose without taking the fall, or if somehow, even though they probably would have made a statement or whatever, but what if, like, Lashley had some sort of, like, injury we didn't know about, so that Leo Rush does most of the match and Lashley just picks up the scraps and retains the belt that way, which I feel like they could go down that both those roads. So, oh my God. You know what? For right now, I'm going to say Lashley picks up the scraps and retains the title.
I mean, that's the safe bet. If it wasn't for the fact that I just love a nice twist, I would probably go with that too, but I just love a nice twist.
I think especially since, like, I don't want to see another short Intercontinental title reign. Like, in the last, like, 2 months, like, Ambrose only had his for, like, 2 weeks. Lashley's had his for, like,
let's see.
Probably a month at least.
What were the reigns here? Let me find it. I can't find it. Why can't I find it?
Because I know.
Oh, I know how I know how I need to do it. Give me a minute. You guys continue. I'm just gonna find this.
Okay.
So yeah, I say Lashley.
Actually, it'll take me 5 seconds. Never mind. So, yeah, Ambrose has had his for about a month, and then so did Lashley, pretty much. Ambrose had it for 29 days. Lashley has had it so far 28 days. It'll be 30 days on Sunday.
Okay.
Well, Ronda Rousey is going to defend her Raw Women's Championship against Ruby Riott this weekend at Elimination Chamber. And Dylan, what do you think about this match?
I mean, it's probably not going to last long. I don't know what exactly would go on in this match. I don't think it's going to be like your Ronda Alexa match or Ronda Sasha match. I think it's just going to be like Ruby will get some stuff in, but it's just almost basically a squash. Ronda retains.
Yeah, it's hard to see any result other than Ronda retaining.
Yeah.
That said, Ruby Riott, very talented in her own right. So Rousey will retain, but I think it'll be a solid match, not necessarily a squash.
Ethan?
Yes. I agree. Ronda's going to retain. I'd say I will agree on the fact that it won't be that much of a squash. It'll be a decent few-minute match where Ronda beats the hell out of Ruby and hits her with the armbar. Riott taps out.
See, I think the Riot Squad will be involved in some way also.
Guaranteed, probably.
And that's why it won't be so much a squash. It'll be more to pad the runtime, sure, but like,
yeah. Yeah, we're all gonna say Ronda Rousey on this match. There's no point in even talking about it, to be honest.
Nope.
All right. The Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. We have the new, quote-unquote, Daniel Bryan going up against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and Kofi Kingston. And we just found out this week on Tuesday that Randy Orton will be the last person to come out of his pod in the match after winning the gauntlet match that Kofi Kingston had a great showing in. Got to just put that out there. And I don't know. This is going to be a good match for sure.
my hopes say Kofi Kingston. After such a long career and everything he's done over the last decade and change, he's been there 10 years.
Yeah.
He's done just about everything except had a run with the big one. My hopes say Kofi, because if anyone deserves it, it's him. My heart, however, says Daniel Bryan will retain the WWE Championship and headline WrestleMania as the WWE Champion.
Ethan?
With that beautiful hemp championship.
Oh my good lord. Anyway, I honestly think I was just thinking about this earlier today. I think that the bottom two that are going to be in the Elimination Chamber are none other than Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. I think when it comes down to those two one-on-one, it's going to be like a fucking phenomenal showdown at the end. And they're both going to be blown up. But then Daniel Bryan's going to hit the LeBell Lock and retain the title.
Okay. Dylan, what do you think?
Well, Daniel Bryan doesn't have that number 6 advantage. So we don't know exactly whether he'll start first or whether he'll be in the middle. But basically, he doesn't really have some sort of advantage going into the chamber. So it sucks because I feel like Daniel Bryan would retain, but I feel like he might not retain, like a part of me. I think, however, he could retain with not only the help of Rowan, but possibly return of Harper.
I was going to mention, I was like, what are the chances of, Harper Rowan or even Harper?
The
Bryan family?
It's shut up.
Bryan family versus
shut up, because if that happens, that means that WrestleMania is going to be Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt, and I'm not sure I want that match.
I don't know.
But we haven't had it in so long.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bray's also, as we speak, even though he hasn't been on TV in a while, is on the Raw roster.
That doesn't mean anything.
Especially for Mania.
I'm going to say Daniel Bryan.
Now, you said there's a chance he might not retain it, Dylan. Let's assume that for a moment that he doesn't. Who takes it?
Either Styles or Orton. And then I think they'll face each other for the belt at Mania.
Speaking of repeated matches.
There's not really. That's only happened like once or twice.
Paul,
it's happened enough times.
For this moment, just for you, instant heat.
Yes.
I've created a night of wrestling moment, which is just our way of saying WrestleMania, but not really moment.
At the same time, it's like SmackDown has barely any top faces at the moment. Like Daniel Bryan turned heel. They turned Orton heel. Like, who realistically besides Mysterio is going to face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, and it's actually going to be a like WrestleMania worthy match? Like,
Man, that would be awesome though. Rey Mysterio versus Daniel Bryan.
that's
Don't even lie. Don't even lie. I would walk to East Rutherford to see that match.
Like, that's the most likely scenario of the SmackDown WWE Championship match at this moment for WrestleMania. Because I don't see, obviously, there's no way in hell Kofi's taking the title. I don't see Kofi taking the title. I don't see Jeff Hardy never, ever having another world title reign. So, no Jeff Hardy. So, your only other babyface that's a top babyface on SmackDown left is Rey Mysterio. So, if Daniel Bryan retains, WrestleMania is going to be Rey Mysterio versus Daniel Bryan.
Anyhow, let's talk about the SmackDown Tag Team Championship.
I have not made my prediction yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used to doing this with only 3 people.
That's okay. I'm going to say Daniel Bryan retains. That makes the most sense. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Kofi, that'd be an interesting sight to see with him as a world champion. But realistically, I don't see it happening right now. I mean, you know.
If Kofi, let's say Kofi does win, that leads to the eventual split of the New Day.
Yeah.
We could have, we've been talking about a Shield triple threat for a long time. And a New Day triple threat wouldn't be that bad. I know.
No.
It's got a snowflake's chance of happening. Anyhow, SmackDown Tag Team titles.
Yes.
Shane and Miz versus the Usos. Who you got?
Well, I did think.
Hold on. Before you get started, Robbie, I just want to say, Jimmy Uso, welcome to the Uso Penitentiary.
And you know what? Up until that story broke, I thought maybe the Usos were going to take
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Now, I'm not so sure. I think the Miz and Shane split heading into the WrestleMania storyline will now either happen at the following SmackDown or perhaps even at Fastlane.
Yeah.
So I think we're all pretty much in agreement that Shane and Miz will win because of real-life drama.
Yep.
Dylan?
I would have predicted, I actually was thinking Shane and Miz long before fucking Jimmy Uso had to try to pick a fight with a policeman and get an article on TMZ. But Shane and Miz retain. Will they drop it at Fastlane? Could be a chance.
You know what though? Like,
really, Robbie?
Wow.
So sorry.
You know what though? Like, the scariest thing about the whole situation is the fact that WWE simply said Jimmy Uso is responsible for his own actions.
Exactly.
Like a one-sentence statement. Ugh, that's not good. Methinks Jimmy Uso's going on the Kurt Hawkins run pretty soon.
Oh boy, where he's just Jobber City.
Anyway.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement. Miz and Shane retain.
The main event of the evening, maybe, one could only hope, for the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Nia Jax and Tamina versus Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville versus the Iconics versus Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Naomi and Carmella. I know.
I'm gonna put my prediction in last. I just want to hear what you guys say. I've been waiting all week for this.
All right, screw it. I'll go first. Now, there's one of two ways that. Well, there's multiple ways, but there's one of two ways that I thought of. One is, and I'm gonna get instant heat. Now, I first predicted Bailey and Sasha, due to the fact that they're getting over as more of a team now. They have more of the crowd behind them. But at the same time, I also thought, what if? Now, Bailey and Sasha just so happened to win the titles. Then, after the match, Nia and Tamina beat the hell out of them, which leads to a match at Fastlane. They have their tag feud, whatever, for however long, and then, or vice versa, and because the only dominating team in that match, really, in a sense, is Nia and Tamina. If you think about it. Because they're like the giants of the women's division. The more dominant role. So I would be happy with either Bailey and Sasha or Nia and Tamina.
Okay.
Dylan, do you want to go next or should I?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, well, I will fast then. I think everyone is expecting Bailey and Sasha. I think that's just the de facto option.
Yes.
I don't think Nia and Tamina are going to take it. I think they're going to be actually one of the first teams out. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan is an interesting idea, but it only really works if Ruby Riott takes the women's championship, which isn't going to happen. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, it's an interesting idea. Also, Corey Graves would have the biggest orgasm of his life if Mandy Rose won anything.
You're not wrong.
Naomi and Carmella, they're just too much of a mishmash, really.
Yep.
I think if not Bailey and Sasha, the only other team that makes sense are the Iconics. So it's just between the two, who would I rather have? I think I would rather have the Iconics take this and then drop it to Bailey and Sasha at WrestleMania. I think that's what I would rather have. So I think I'm going to go with the Iconics on this one.
We'll throw it to Dylan.
Oh, geez. All right. So first one I'm just going to eliminate out of the equation is Nia and Tamina. Not because I don't like them. It's because I think they've actually had the biggest momentum going into this match. Like, they've been built to be beating everyone throughout the last couple of weeks on Raw. And let's see. What do we got? So Iconics haven't really been doing much. And then Mandy and Sonya had that couple wins on those triple threat tag matches on SmackDown. So honest, and I think for me it comes down to if a heel is going to win the men's elimination chamber, I think the babyface is going to win the women's elimination chamber. So I'm going with Bailey and Sasha Banks.
Okay, Robbie.
All right, that comes down to me. And I wanted to make this comment about y'all sleeping on Sonya and Mandy because, I don't know, for some reason I just feel like that is going to be my choice. But, you know, I don't mind if the Iconics win it because, you know,
It's iconic.
It is going to be very iconic. But no.
Also, can we take a moment? I'm sorry, because can we just take a moment to appreciate how nice the women's tag title looks? It looks so much different from any other title out there in WWE right now.
Honestly, my first reaction to those titles kind of made it look like a New Japan Pro title.
Like the heavyweight title?
No, the IC title.
I'm going to look it up. Robbie, you continue while I look it up.
The white strap with the gold.
All right. I was title for WWE and I was going to screen. However, yes. This one's a toss-up. I'm going to go with the team that might be slept on with Mandy Rose and Sonya. I'm just gonna
Corey Graves thanks you
give that as a rest prediction. Oh, I bet he would.
Okay, so everyone right now all has different
teams.
Yeah.
You went with Bayley and Sasha. I went with Iconics.
Is this a first?
I think this is a first.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's a first.
To be fair, though, this is probably like the first time we have this situation in front of us. I think it's a first.
Might be.
Anyway, when is the next pay-per-view? This is a good question.
March 10th, I think, actually. Now as I think about it.
All right, so before we quickly talk about that, let's see here if this will work. A look at the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in just a moment. Waiting for that to work. Here we go. And screen share.
Also, I'd like to point out real fast, Fastlane in 3 of the 5 years that it's been around. We talk about WrestleMania being in Florida all the gosh darn time.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's Fastlane.
Fastlane, no. Fastlane in 2016 was in Cleveland. Fastlane 2018 was in Columbus, Ohio. And now it's in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
Again. So
look at those beautiful things.
Look at those. WWE Tag Team
Ohio to Cleveland.
Women's Tag Team.
How much of a drive is that? A 2-hour drive.
All right. Stop screen sharing.
Oh Jesus! Okay, I didn't know we were doing that. I left the screen for like 2 seconds. Come back to this.
Hold on. Just waiting for my camera to turn back on. Actually, there we go.
There we go.
I didn't know that was a thing. Like that's cool.
Yep.
Anyhow, I think that's it.
Yeah,
I think we're done.
Yep.
I think so. So we'll be back around when again? Sorry.
The Fastlane pay-per-view is March 10th. It'll probably be like
March 8th.
March. So we'll be back in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey Dylan, if you want to play that music to play us off,
I was thinking about it. I seen the YouTube link, so
you might as well. This has been Night of Wrestling for everyone here. Have a good night.